Hello, welcome to Math with Mr. Dobrescu, to the rescue. Today we are going to evaluate expressions involving square roots. Let's take a look at our first example here. We have 5 square root of 36 plus 7. So, in this example here, first, we always need to take care of the square root. So we know that square root of 36, since 36 is 6 times 6, square root of 36 is just 6, because 6 squared gives us 36. Therefore, square root of 36 is just the 6, right? So this becomes square root of 6 times 6. And we see this as a pair. And because this is a pair, the pair comes out of the square root just as a simple 6. Okay? So square root of 36 is 6. But remember, we still have the 5 in the front. So we have 5 times 6 and then plus 7. Okay? Pay attention to the steps we did. First of all, we took care of the square root of 36, becomes 6. And we need to multiply now 5 times 6, because now we are using the order of operations. And 5 times 6 becomes 30. And then 30 plus 7 becomes 37. And 37 is going to be our answer for A. Let's take a look at B now. Remember, I told you guys first, we need to take care of the square root, right? Let's see if we can simplify square root of 18 divided by 2. And because we have 18 divided by 2 as a fraction, we want to simplify that. So before we take care of the square root, we are going to work the inside of the square root. And we know that 18 divided by 2 becomes 9. So that is going to become 1 over 4. The first one stays the way it is. Plus, and now we have square root 18 divided by 2 is 9, because 9 times 2 is 18. And now we know that square root of 9 is actually 3, because, like we did before, 9 can be written as 3 times 3 under the square root. And remember again, we form a pair. Remember, 3 times 3 is 9, so from that pair, only 1 3 is going to come out of the square root, because 3 squares makes a 9. So square root of 9 equals 3. And we still have the 1 over 4 plus 3. And now let's combine those two together. And the final answer would be 3 and 1 over 4. 3 and 1 over 4. Final answer. Okay? Take a look at these two examples. Remember, always work from the inside of the square root. So again, the square root of 36 is 6. And then combine everything together. Remember, order of operations. Multiplication comes first before addition. The same here. Always take care of the square root. Square root of 9 is 3. And then if we combine 1 over 4 plus 3, that is the same thing as 3 and 1 over 4. Now let's take a look at these two examples. In this case, we have square root of 81 squared. Okay? So that's a little trickier. Eventually, you're going to learn how to do that without having to do the long way. But first, let's work from the inside out, right? So remember, we still have the parenthesis here to the power of 2. And now, square root of 81, remember, 81 can be written as 9 times 9. And of course, this is under the square root. And then here we have minus 5. And let's see what we get. And we know the square root of 81, it's actually 9, because 9 times 9 is 81, right? So from those two, only a clean 9 comes out. 9. And now we have to square root it, right? And then minus 5. And let's see what we get now. And of course, 9 squared becomes 9 times 9. We go back from where we came. And 9 times 9 is 81. Okay? And now let's see if we can get a shortcut. Anytime we have a square root of a number, especially like 9, which is the perfect square, right? And then raised to that power, the answer is going to be just the number inside of the square root. Like we got the answer there. See that? So now that's a little shortcut because the answer is just 81 because we have a square root of 81 squared. And that we go back to 81, that's it. And then now we just have to subtract 5. And that will be our final answer. Remember 81, right? 81 minus 5, we already know that. So if you want to do it just like that, remember, we cannot borrow from the 1, make 8 a 7, make 1 a 10. Okay, so we have 10 minus 5 is 5. Okay, and this is a 7, right? So that's a 7 here, and 10 minus 5 is 5, so it's 75. Actually 76, right? 76, because we borrowed 1, that's an 11 there, right? Because we already have the 1. 11 minus 5 is 6, right? 11 minus 5 is 6, and then 7, it stays. Remember, 7 minus 0 is 7. So the final answer is 76. Okay? Right there. Make sure you understand how to do this type of problems. Remember, we can do always go to the shortcut. Square root of 81 squared is just 81. And 81 minus 5 is 76, right? It only makes sense. If you take 5 from 81, you get 76. Let's take a look at D now here. And again, remember, we always work, we try to simplify the square root. And now, since we practice, we know that square root of 25 is just 5, right? Square root of 25 is 5, because 25 can be written as 5 times 5 under the square root, and that becomes just the 5, right? And we still have the 12 minus, and then 3 times 5, okay? And now again, we are going to use PEMDAS. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Again, we do not know what Miss Sally did, but you see how applicable and helpful Miss Sally is to us, because we know now that we need to do the multiplication first. So let's do the multiplication first here. So let's multiply those two, and we know that negative 3 times 5 becomes negative 15, right? And we still have the 12 here. And now, remember, subtracting numbers, remember, subtracting integers, we have 12 minus 15. Remember, 15 is the largest number, so 15 is gonna carry the sign, right? And then remember, we subtract the smaller number from the bigger number, so 15 minus 12 is 3. So the final answer is negative 3. And if you remember that song we did a while back, right? Opposite sign subtract. So we subtract the number, 15 minus 12 is 3. And then take the sign of the larger number, then will be exact. So the sign of the larger number is negative, and the final answer is negative 3. Please practice that song, remember it, so you can always get the answer when we subtract integers. And now, I want you guys to take about 5 minutes, pause this video. If you need to go back to the examples, please go back to the examples and see how to do this, simplifying the square roots. And I want you to try on your own to see if you are going to be able to get the right answer. So take some time, pause the video, work it out, and then when you have the answers, please come back and see if we together are able to get the same answers. Okay? So again here, always take care of the simplify the square root. So in this case, if we divide 28 by 7, we get a 4, right? Because 7 times 4 is 28. So here we get a clean 4. Square root of 4 plus 2.4. And let's see what we get now. And everyone should know now the square root of 4 is 2, right? So 2 plus 2.4. And we have here the whole number is 2 and another whole number is 2, right? If we add them up, we have 2 wholes, another 2 wholes become 4.4. So the final answer is 4.4. And remember, if you want to kind of show the work, we have 2.4 plus, remember the 2 goes under the whole number, 2 point, and then add a 0 for the placeholder. So again, when we add it up, we get a 4. 2 plus 2 is 4, and we got 4.4. And again, if you got this answer, Mr. Dobrescu is going to give you A++. Okay? And let's take a look at the last example here. Again, remember in the previous example, now we know that if we have a square root of 4 and squared, the answer is going to be just this number under the square root. So that's the final answer 4. We proved that in the previous example, right? So now simply we just subtract 15 minus 4, and if we take away 4 from 15, we get 11 as our final answer, and that's it. Okay? 11, if you got 11, you get A++. Remember, Mr. Dobrescu is very generous. If you guys are able to do this and get the right answer, and if you got the right answer, you can also type the answers in the comments and see how you did it. And if you got the right answer. And again, you get A++ and also a happy face from Mr. Dobrescu. Okay, and thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you guys spending time with me. Again, going over a couple of examples here, how to evaluate expressions involving square roots. And please don't forget to like and subscribe and share this video and hit that notification bell so you'll be notified when I'm going to post another video. Take care. All the best to you.